Hello, Top Nation! It's your boy Tom, and today we're going to be talking about a AutoHotkey script that auto-updates using GitHub. It can be manipulated a bit to work with other sites, but GitHub is what it was built for and probably the best way to do it, in my personal opinion. But, you know, hey, to each his own. Obviously, this is going to be in the description below. A link to this guy. Shout out to, I'm guessing it's pronounced Stillies. And he hasn't updated it in 9 years, it looks like, but you know what? He doesn't need to because it works perfectly. I've had zero issues, it works great, and it's pretty simple to use. I mean, obviously, if you want to mess around with the actual AHK script for auto update, you're free to do that. That's a little bit more complex. We're not really going to be diving into that, but even then, it's not that much. It's like 230-ish lines of code. So hey, if you want to play around with that, it's really not that bad. So once you get here, we need to download all of this. So we just click the little green code button here, download zip. We're going to go ahead, we'll just save it to the desktop. That's fine. And we're going to go ahead and jump to our desktop. You're going to get a zip file, obviously. Just right click, or however you do it on your computer, and just say extract here or extract files. It takes like a second, and there it is. And obviously this is not going to be a huge script. It's not even 9 kilobytes, so it's very small. So very easy to add into any script without changing the size too much or messing with it. But yeah. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to launch this. There's a few different options. There's manual update, which basically gives you a message box saying, hey, we see that there's an update. Do you want to update now or do you want to update later? So you're giving the user the option. There's silent auto update, which basically it sees that there is an update and it just goes ahead and does it. That's useful in like a work environment. You know, I originally was doing something kind of like the manual update, and people were just constantly pushing no, reporting a bug, and it's like, we fixed that bug like months ago. Why are you still using that version? And they hadn't restarted their computer, or they just have never pushed yes. And it causes issues. So depending on your situation, it might just be nice to use silent auto update to force them to update. But you can give them the option. We're going to do the manual option just because that's easier to see with the video. So here's the code. Let me resize this just a bit so it matches the screen a little better. There we go. So yeah, you would basically just insert this into your main script, put this at the beginning of your script, and then you put this wherever you want, most likely the beginning also. So file path. This is where you're going to be getting the information from. So let's go ahead and put that in just so you can get a visual. Sorry, it's hard to see with my mic in the way there. So here is, basically this would be the actual updated script code, whatever. And then the other thing we do have is the change log. So the changelog is going to be formatted this way so the regex can read it. And it's just simply put, it's basically that v1, you know, what was in there, but the code's really just looking for this and seeing what version you have, and it's comparing if there's something newer. So just make sure you are formatting this way. Save it as a text file or MD file, whatever works best for you. It's really going to be easy to edit. It's just about replacing these two URLs. Here's where the updated script is going to always be. Here's where it's going to check if there is a new version. You don't really need to change any of the regex. It should work just fine as long as you're following that format. So to test this, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a comment in here. This is the old script. That way it's kind of like our little tag for knowing that's there. I'm going to go ahead and save it. So we have this comment here. I'm just putting it there because it's easier since this is the same code for the update. But this will show us what the old one is versus the new one. So we're good with that. We can close that. we're going to go over here. We're actually going to run this now. Obviously, if you had it built into your other script, you would just run that script. And at whatever point you have that triggered, it's going to do the check. Obviously, this works only if you have internet. If you don't, nothing's really going to happen. It's just going to function however the script's going to be, but it's not going to be able to check for an update, which is fine. It'll just skip over. So yeah, we're going to run that. We're running this in V1. Yes, it's only in V1. Looks like the project just was dropped a while ago and hasn't been really messed with since then, but something with this should be pretty easy to convert to V2. If you guys know if this has been converted to V2 or you want to, definitely link it in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Always throwing automation stuff out at you. Have to do mostly with AutoHotkeys, but we branch out all the time. So here's our little message box. New version is available. Do you want to download it now? If I say no, obviously it just continues on with the rest of the code. But the next time I launch this, it will ask this again if I want it to. But we're going to say yes. And as you see, it's very fast. Script updated. Restart now. Restarting it now is obviously going to load the new stuff, so we'll go ahead and say yes. But obviously we're going to be stuck in a cycle here, so that's fine. We're just going to say no. So let's see what just happened here. So we have this script right here now called backup. It's the same name, but it says backup at the end. Let's open that in Notepad. And as you can see right there, this is the old script. So there's our comment. So this is cool that it creates a backup function. But then here is should be the new one. We're going to go ahead, right click that, open that in Notepad++. And you see the comment's gone. So this is the new version that it grabbed. So it's cool that if something did go wrong, you can always tell the person to run this script by just changing the extension from backup to AHK. So essentially just deleting from the .v on, and it'll turn it back into a normal script. So yeah, and then it does download a config file where you can do current versions. Obviously, that's got to be manually coded by you, so that's fine. But yeah, this one, silent auto update, it just does it. Simple update, I think, does pretty much the same thing. New version available, download it now. Last version is the same file. So this one also does check to see if there actually was really any changes, and so that one's a little bit simpler, obviously. And then as you saw that message box, it timed out, so it I didn't even have to click anything. It just times out. You can always change that in the code if you want. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Like I said, this is designed for GitHub, but you can always branch out, tweak the code a little bit to work with like Google Documents as long as the file is accessible to others. But GitHub is probably the best way to do it for version handling and whatnot. Alright guys, hope you learned something new, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!